It excites me, and then it makes me feel sad at the same time that we're at the last or second last episode, of Storytime with Snags, and we're coming to an end. So the time that I've had with you boys reading this book, right? I know last week we talked about Daddy Snags, and a couple of the boys didn't get around it, but myself, I did. This week, I thought as I run you back through, and we come to the second last thing, I've taught you boys a lot about MMA in this book, have I not? Thank you. I'm going to say yes for you all, the three of you. So what I thought is Teacher Snags is on duty today, okay? This is where we're at. And I'm going to run you through the book with this astute hat that I've purchased for myself,
this
as
is
you
a
can
long
see.
recap.
So, from the top, boys. A for Anaconda, B for Berimbolo, C for Charles Sonnen, D for Danaher, John Danaher, E for Eddie Bravo, F for Fuss, that's right, Zach, my boy, no Fuss, Keith Peterson, G for Go-Go Plata, H for the Hammer, Chelsea Hackett, I for Stoney's favourite, Imanari roll, J for Jiu-Jitsu, K for Karate, L for the classic DL answer of leg kick, M for the favourite one that's ever been in this book and the most controversial, MMA, N for Nevada, O for O'Neill, that's right, Cam O'Neill, we are talking some Eternal today, boys, P for Punk, Sam Punk, the boys still feel sit snags for that one, Q for Quentin Rampage Jackson, R for Hoist Gracie, S for my man Shoney Carter, and then now we're going to do 3 letters today, boys, okay, to leave it the big finale with 4. So we're doing T, U, and V. Now, I did say last time on the potty that I've gone very DL for these, okay, just trying to give the boys some help and some tips. So we're going to kick off the ABC of MMA book this week with the letter T. And I'll tell you what, it's not Teacher Snags. I know it looks like it is, but it's not. Hot tip. I'm going to leave DL to last on these just because I'm looking forward to his answers, to be honest. So, Statman, kick us off, my friend. Welcome to Storytime with Snags.
Thank you. It's always been a dream to be here.
You know what? Your energy levels are at 3. Need them out of 10.
When I was thinking about this, I was like, these are the things that are the most important to MMA, like the keystone. So, yeah, we've had fighters in before, but what about the stuff that makes the fighters the fighters? Yep. So for T, I've gone the thing that makes John Jones. I've gone Turinbol, a steroid agent.
Once again, you're at a 3, need you at a 10. Okay?
Is that right, though? Is that correct?
Well, first, I feel disrespected that you said that this book was about the important things of MMA, for one, because obviously it's not. And no, that's incorrect. But yeah, good pick.
Disappointing.
Statman's demise of John Jones continues into Storytime with Snags. Jesus Christ, this is PG politically correct, okay? Keep it in line. Stoney.
Is there a segment where the Statman can't bring John Jones into it? He just continues to...
I don't think there is.
Unbelievable. Look, I'm going to lower the bar down a little bit to DL's level. I'm going to go Tap Out.
Tap Out? What, the brand or what happened?
Yeah.
Well, here's a
pivotal in the answer here.
I thought I could go, it could be 2 birds, 1 stone.
Is it capitalized, Stoney? Or...
So it's beginning very deep. Why don't they ask you these questions, then you give your generic answers? I don't know. No,
so we're just playing. Guess what? If it was Tap Out the shirt or if it was Tap Out the submission, they're both wrong anyway. So thanks for coming. Now, this one I've been waiting for all fortnight. DL.
Well,
the T.
I think you're pushing right into my wheelhouse here, and I thought Stoney was going to take my choice when he wanted to go DL. So I've got it, boys.
What is it?
Training.
Oh, fuck, I thought you were going to have it then. I thought you were going to have it. I've gone so DL and you've gone training. That's incorrect. Sorry. Title.
Oh, fuck, that's terrible.
Title. That's DL answer, isn't it?
It is. There's honestly, there's like 6 or 7 DL answers for T.
Yeah, I know. Ticket was another one I was thinking of.
Takedown.
I got a ticket to the UFC. Yeah, funny. Anyway, boys, we're still 1 apiece across the board too, so this is some big movements here. Listeners, pull up a red wine next fortnight and let's get saucy because we've got a couple of doozies to come.
I can't wait to see what you pull out for X. Honestly, I fucking can't wait.
I've got a good one for X. Already got it.
Oh, my Lord.
So, boys, thanks for playing along this week. Storytime with Snags hits it. If you're looking for the book, It's on my website, daddysnags.com.au. You can also find my Only Snags on there. The book's only $499.97, so grab on and get it. Talk to you soon, boys.
If anyone looks that website up.
I think we need to reserve it quickly, otherwise we're going to be
Daddy Snags. I'm going to type it in so it comes up.
Jesus Christ.
If I get cut off, it's because I just got bulk viruses.
Yeah, this Australian Federal Police burst down your door and drag out of you.
Daddy Snags has not been taken.
Ooh, go Daddy. In honor of the Paddy Pimblett interview, we decided to pick a couple of fights on the Cage Warriors 122 card. We'll start first up with the Cage Warriors Featherweight Championship match between Morgan Charrier and Jordan Vucenic. Stoney, take it away.
Yeah, so Morgan, the Last Pirate. Interesting little nickname there. We saw that it didn't all go great for the Last Stylebender on the weekend, but maybe for the Last Pirate. What do we think? That's I haven't heard that one before, but the French knockout artist won the organisation's 2020 Fighter of the Year. And obviously he's looking to make his mark not only on the promotion, but he's really trying to get his brand out there. So I'm predicting that Morgan will get the job done with a fairly tasty round 1 TKO.
I'll go second because
I'm in
the
second disrespect. Absolute disrespect.
Honestly, Jordan Vucenic, the epidemic is probably not a great nickname to wear in the UK at the moment, but Vucenic has the better wins on his record against more experienced competition. Vucenic has fought fighters with less fights than him just twice in his 8 fights, whereas Charrier has done so in 18 of his 24 fights. A little bit of a Craig stat for you there. I do think that Jordan Vucenic is a rising star in the featherweight division. And I do see him taking this fight by TKO in round 3.
Oh, look out. Look, I let Statman go second there because I felt bad for him that he's still below me on the leaderboard. Boys, it'll be no surprise, and I'll let you know I'm definitely going the Pirate this week, that's for sure. Morgan, for me, is just absolutely on a tear. It Snags, as you can see by the video, he's a strong supporter. And I always will be. So I'm going to go Morgan by round 2 TKO. He'll let him get out of the first round. And then Args Mihardy, round 2 KO, baby. That's for sure. Snags. Pirate Snags out.
There's a lot of pirates, though. There's still tons of pirates out there.
No, he's the last pirate.
No, but
I'm now a pirate as well, but,
there's tons of them.
Not in real life.
So many pirates out there.
This podcast, so you can see Snags' visual gags because they don't come across in podcast form all that great. So I went.
Oh, yeah, touche.
And then we head on to the people's main event, Paddy the Baddy Pimblett versus Davida Martinez. Stoney?
Look, it'd take a brave man on this podcast to pick against the Baddy after that wonderful piece of run-it-back history that we just listened to. Don't get me wrong, Martinez is a very solid all-round fighter, but I don't think it's even remotely comparable when you start looking at their grappling. I think it's a bit of chalk and cheese, and I think Paddy taps him early in round 2, making it another win for the Baddy before he says salada to Cage Warriors and off to big things in the UFC. So let's go, Paddy.
Davida Martinez, pretty strong regional wrestler from Italy. I do think that comes into play to play into Paddy Pimblett's hands. The takedowns are going to work in Pimblett's into his advantage. I'm taking Paddy Pimblett by round 1 submission. I just don't think that Davide Martinez has fought the same level of competition that Pimblett has in the regional Italian circuit, and Pimblett should be able to take this one quite handily.
Look, boys, I will not be one to derail the Paddy the Baddy train, as Snags likes to call it. You can get on the Snags train if you want to. Scouser for life. I'm going to go round 2 sub to our boy Paddy. Mate, I don't think it's going to go any other way. Doozy interview from the boys. Absolutely loved Paddy on there as well. If you've seen the video version, crack up. Hilarious. So I'm going to take round 2 submission. I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to say he's going to hit the flying triangle again, boys.
Nice. Could we push for Snags to be an adopted Scouser or what? Should we put the?
I don't know if we could.
Put the
I don't know. Like the amount of times Stoney's been on Crystal Palace, I think I'd absolutely get murdered if I went in there.
I would fucking love to get Snags out there. We should do like a little video vlog.
Adopt Snags. Is that my next segment?
Who
will adopt Snags?
When flights are open again, we send Snags there, and he's got a week to be adopted as a Scouser. Mate, you'd come home with like like 2 black eyes are broken.
No way.
I can just see you walk into a pub and be like, my people, I have returned to you.
We wouldn't see him again. It'd be
I'll
great.
just call everyone. No, I'll be sweet. I reckon that's it. Mate, if anyone wants to adopt Snags from now on, any Jiu-Jitsu Academy out there wants to adopt Snags or any listener, let me
a
know.
little
I'm up for it.
It's a dude.
I'll get you the details next fortnight.
That man, I'm pretty sure they've already done Idiot Abroad, so that one's already been covered.
Mate, yeah, I loved you on that too. I thought you were an absolute great host on Idiot Abroad, mate, and I do congratulate you. That's why I turned down number 2. I just couldn't top you.
Look out. The rich just keep getting richer on the Run It Back podcast, DL. But I'm actually going to take a bit more of a humble line because we were saved a little bit by, and we'll unpack it a little bit shortly, but the DQ, it was looking not good at all for the reigning Run It Back champ. And then Peter Yan, he just sensed the moment and he come through for me. So, hats off to you, Peter. I appreciate it.
Mate, the only way that you continue to do this is by absolute rubbish decisions. Should have been no contest for Snags. We'll talk. I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to leave it. But it's nice to be in second, that's for sure, boys.
Class with you boys is the concept of winning a title on a DQ. So obviously pro wrestling has the rule where you can't win a title on a DQ. But what's then stopping a champion who is up 3 rounds just smashing a low blow or doing something like eye poking? John Jones is already epidemic with eye pokes.
Here we go again.
Daniel Cormier, who I love, is epidemic with eye pokes.
Mate, don't change the subject.
Imagine when he actually fights again.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So
Jesus Christ, we're going to have to put ball and chain on him.
What's
gonna
to stop
be
a champion knowingly fouling a fighter? My conventional wisdom says take it to the scorecards as they are, especially if you're after the 3rd round. Take it to the scorecards and read them out. But I really don't think that Peter Yan deserves to get the win after such a clear illegal knee. In the same breath, Aljamain Sterling is not the champion in that division in my eyes. So it's really hard. It's an awkward position for that championship to be in.
So is a no contest awarded if it's an accidental knee?
Yeah, if it had been an unintentional foul, it would have been a no contest.
Yeah.
Or if the fight was stopped with an unintentional foul, it would have gone to the scorecards because it was after the end of the 2nd round. I think that's the rule. But because the referee clearly warned him, and then there's factors in like how strong is Jan's grasp on English, but in saying that, the referee goes over the rules with a translator by their side at the beginning of the fight,
And he asked his corner.
and they told him to hit him. So it's like, fire your corner, Peter, because they've cost you championship money.
I think they'll run it back, though.
They will.
When you think about it. They'll run it back, so.
And what will Stoney? I'm interested to hear will you take Jan in the rematch, considering that Jan was clearly
Going for some futures.
going strong, or do you think that Sterling's still the pick there?
Don't give out your picks, mate.
Yeah, look, I'll park that. I will address that. But the you can hit a downed opponent. You just can't hit him in that fashion with a knee to the downed opponent's head. So in that respect, and it's a perfect storm because it was, as you said, such a one-sided fight. It just made it even a tougher pill to swallow. As take out our tips, a fairly objective MMA fan, it was just a really difficult one to digest. In terms of, moving forward, geez, it'd be a bold man to, go out and pick Sterling again. There were the moments, little bits and pieces where I thought Sterling's unpredictability
He didn't look bad.
created openings, but he over the course of the fight, he just didn't. And Peter Yan had an answer for absolutely everything. So, yeah, not a chance. If that fight got booked tomorrow, not a chance I could roll the dice with Aljo again.
I definitely think that the judges seem to give Izzy round 2 and the rest of the rounds to Jan with a 10-8 in the 5th. And I don't think the 10-8 was the 5th round was a 10-8 round. I personally had the first 3 rounds quite close, and probably Oceanic bias had them for Izzy. Rounds 4 and 5 were definitely Jan Blachowicz. I was fine with a 49-46 either way, honestly. But the 49-45 definitely surprised me. I knew who had won at that point because rounds 4 and 5 were so clearly Jan. but it did surprise me. I will have to watch it back just to see. A lot of criticisms coming out about the commentary for that fight, so I might have to watch it on mute, which is something I tend to do with really, really close fights. So maybe have to run that one back on Fight Pass. So we're heading to Eternal 57 and 58 for these guys, running on back-to-back days. We've got 2 title fights that we're picking for. So we've got first up for the Featherweight Championship, Jack Jenkins versus Jesse Medina. And then for the Eternal Middleweight Championship, we've got John Martin Fraser versus Kit Campbell. Stoney.
Yeah, Jack Jenkins and Jesse Medina, they've actually fought before in September of 2017, with Medina taking an armbar in round 2. Since then, he's gone 2-3, including a TKO loss to the podcast favourite in James Malarkey. We'll all remember at UFC 243, the absolute clinic of Fight of the Year contender that Malarkey was involved in. I'm tipping Medina to take this one again and go 2-0 against Jenkins. It'll go to the ground at some point, and I just see Medina taking his back at some point and choking him out. So if I had to pick a round, I'd go round 2 sub for Medina.
Obviously, no Craig stats on this one, but how about this one for you? This will be the 4th rematch in Medina's career. In the previous 3 rematches, the fighter who lost the first fight went on to win the second. Stoney, I know you love a good record prophecy, so I'm going to follow along with this one. I'm saying Jack Jenkins will take this one by TKO in the 3rd.
All right, boys, Snags can keep this bad boy short and sweet. We had Jack Jenkins on the locals only a couple of weeks ago. Absolute doozy of a fella and absolute doozy of a fighter. So Snags is going to take round 2 TKO for Jenkins.
Yeah, I'm on the same line here as Snags. Locals only, so he's part of the Rib fam. And being Victorian as well, can't go against him. And when I will ask him to do locals only, I usually ask the fighter, do they mind if I put where they're from? Jack, the perfect reply. Quote, mate, I'm the most pro Bacchus Marsh person you'll ever meet. I'll be mayor before they put me in the ground. So I'm taking the mayor of Bacchus Marsh, TKO, round 1.
And the Fraser Campbell fight, Stoney?
Yeah, so Kit Campbell, born and bred in South Gippsland, DL. Oh. And you know as well as anyone, they breed him tough down this way. Not that Sugar Snags will know anything about that. He's got a good judo background, started training in his teenage years. I think he's got the ability to get this one to the mat against a really established kickboxer. Once it gets to the mat, I think it swings into Kit Campbell's favour. So I'm taking Kit by round 3 submission.
I think... as much as I hate agreeing with Stoney, I think Kit Campbell has fought more against better opposition, and he has the age factor on his side. He is a little bit younger than Fraser. So he's lost a couple times recently, but against like strong opponents, Bellator vet JJ Ambrose, and recently UFC signee Izzy Fidikefu. So I don't think that those losses diminish him. John Martin Fraser, 4 wins, 2 losses, early days of his career, but I just think that Kit Campbell is maybe a little bit too much too soon for him. I'm taking Kit Campbell by decision in this one.
Boys, Johnny Fraser is one of the boys. That's what I love about the boy. Absolute tear on the piss, I would say, if I got to have a beer with him. I'm going to take John Fraser by decision just because of that reason. A couple of his fights I've watched before, and he's absolute toweling up for some people, but I'm going to take him because he's one of the boys. Decision.
Really good. That's what athletes want to hear.
And it's this inside, I think, which justifies why Sugar Snags was 23 behind 3rd place.
You nearly made me fucking laugh my contact out, man.
That's my goal every single potty.
Look, I really wanted to take the local because Kit's from Melbourne as well. But I can't see him getting out the first. Who remembers like John Fraser's walk-off knockout?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Woo. So I think he's living high off that still, and might take the Welshman. And I'm going to take him in the 1st.
Ooh, moving on to the UFC Vegas 21 main event, we have Leon Edwards finally back in the cage against Bilal Muhammad. Combined, the fighters have a 26% finish rate in victory and only 1 stoppage loss between them. So this one could probably be expected to go the distance.
Yeah, nice insight there, Statman. Certainly took the decision out of my hand. I'm worried about the layoff with Leon Edwards because obviously his last fight, July 2019, hasn't been in the cage in a competitive standpoint since then, but he's had a lot of camps for fights that have fallen through. So it's not like he's been totally inactive, but we just haven't seen him in the cage. And I'm worried that may stunt his momentum because he was getting, a lot of positive vibes. He had some good wins over Gunnar Nelson, Rafael dos Anjos, Donald Cerrone. So I hope he bounces back and I hope he hits the ground running. I'm tipping Leon Edwards by decision in this one, Statman.
It is a dangerous fight for Leon Edwards to take, honestly, because Bilal Muhammad is by far deserving of a top 10 rating in that stacked welterweight division. Name value next to none in the UFC at the moment. Similar position to Leon Edwards, some could argue. But for Leon Edwards, who has been on the cusp of a title fight for so long, this is a risky fight to take. I do think that Leon Edwards has fought and beaten the better fighters. Rafael dos Anjos, especially in 2019, is a really, really good win to have on your record. Even Donald Cerrone in 2018 is better than a victory over Donald Cerrone in 2021. Whereas Muhammad, he had a good victory over Diego Lima and Lyman Good, but not quite the same kind of household names. I hope Leon Edwards wins this fight. He actually earned a fan in me by taking the Muhammad fight, because, it's either very brave or very stupid. I'm gonna side on the fact that it was a very brave move. I am taking Leon Edwards by decision. I would be shocked if this fight went any other way.
Jesus, I thought I'd just bloody listened to a midday sitcom the way you got through to that pick. For sure you'll go on Muhammad and then you throw one out of the bag last minute before the end of the episode.
Hey, you got to do the Russo swerve, mate. You got to swerve
it. Swerve, yeah. Jesus. Look, boys, I'm going to keep it straight down the line as Snags as always. I'm going Leon Edwards by decision. Majority of his wins come by decision. He'll try to grind this one out. And I think it will go this way, and Snags will unfortunately get that bonus point with Stoney.
Well, Snags has just segued beautifully into what I have to say about this fight, because I think that's exactly the reason why Edwards will finish this fight. He knows that the problem with getting headlining fights and getting fights anywhere in the top 10 is that he's not the biggest draw card. He's tried to be a bit more outspoken. He's tried to push it a little bit more, but he keeps getting these roadblocks. And I think that's going to work in his favor. I think he wants to finish this fight. And that's why he took the Muhammad fight, because he knows that this guy is a challenger in the top 10. He is a weapon. But I also think Edwards is maybe a couple of levels above him. Yes, boys, as Sugar Snags just alluded to, the bank is flush, lads. The bank is flush. Current bank balance of the run it back, boys, is $524. So the multi-bank has overflown. Actually had the bank manager in me during the week and asked me what he wanted to do with the cash. He didn't know what to do with it. So $524. So look, we actually posted the moment. Me and Stoney run a live stream for Punchless MMA, hosted a live event for UFC 259, and we happened to jump on for the Dominic Cruz fight.
Oh.
So the world got to see a live reaction to.
It was close to.
So it was quite exciting.
If ever you want to see two boys on the edge of their seats, packing their dacks until Dom Cruz got that takedown.
Yeah. Jeez. And earlier in the stream, Dale from Punchless was telling us that he was told that Bruce stands on the side of the winner.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Anyway, and then the fight before it, he stood on the other side. So when it got to the Dom fight, we didn't know what was going to happen. Anyway, that's on our social if you want to look at me being an idiot. So check that out. But it was cool. But for our last, let's give you a quick recap. So on episode 43, leg 1, we had Crystal Palace.
That was it, man.
That was $5.86. That was banned.
They got up in penalty time, didn't they?
Insane, yeah. Stoney. Your luck with
1-1 at 89 minutes.
90 minute. Never in doubt, boys.
Statistically impossible that you've picked Crystal Palace this many times and they've won each time.
They've played 27 times. They've won 9 times. We've backed them 6 times for a win for 6 wins.
That's crazy.
Fucked.
The prophecy.
Fucking
prophecy
weird, man. I know.
Crystal Palace.
That's a wrap on episode 44. If you like what we're doing, please like, share, comment, or subscribe to the podcast. If you like to support the podcast even further, jump onto our online store and purchase a supporter tee. That's us for episode 44, boys. I'm producer DL.
I am Teacher Snags.
I'm the stat man.
And my name is Stoney.
And I'll run it back with you all on the next Run It Back podcast.
Fucking
Dude, no one knows who I am. The mystery person jumps into the potty.
You look very trustworthy. I would trust you
Imagine
around
if
my
we get-
schools.
You can't say that on the potty. Imagine if we get up 2 weeks in a row with a big win. Oh, big win, little one. Get inside.
What I thought funny about the visual gags tonight is that not until I told you that people need to go onto YouTube to see it that you realise that people wouldn't see it.
I was just trying to get the lols out of the boys. That's
Yeah.
all.
Make goals.